Okay, so the first technique we're going to look at is the collar drag. Really useful anytime that you're kind of late in a fight and you want to, you want to get some quick points, or you want to try and get on top fast. Okay, so the basic setup. I'm going to get Chelsea to demonstrate this because, if I collar drag, I'll bury her face in the mat. So the way that we're going to start looking at it is just from this very open guard position here, nothing too fancy. She's going to set up the collar drag position here. Okay, so the first thing for the collar drag, you've got to get this cross collar grip. And then from here, it's about moving yourself around to the side as you pull your partner to where you were supposed to be. So she steps this leg out, hands on the floor, she's going to pull the hip around and pull my face to where she basically was. Now, from this situation, there's a real big temptation to reach up towards the back. Instead, if she does reach up towards the back, from here, I'm going to be able to just step over and mount, okay? Which is obviously not what you want to have happen. So she sets up the cross collar grip, moves her body out to the side, drags, and instead comes up to the leg. From here, she can pull herself up on top, and she's going to be in a good, strong position to either start taking the back, okay, or just blast me over from there. Okay, so let's come around this side. So we're here, you can be in a butterfly guard, whatever you want. Okay, she goes, she steps, drags, runs me over. Okay, really difficult for me to get out of because number one, I'm using my hands to stop me, and number two, she's got hold of my legs, so even if I'm trying to recover, she can be stood up and working from there. So again, one more time, we're here, she sets up that cross collar grip here, she drags to the outside, comes up, and comes on top. Okay, that's our first one. Nice, simple collar drag. Okay, another opportunity we have to use this collar drag is from more like an open guard position. So where your partner's on the ground, and maybe I've broken free of her guard and she's got this one grip to control me. Okay, now from here, obviously I'm going to be trying to pass, I'm going to be going side to side. She's going to maintain this strong position. She's going to have a look. And it's really important when you're here, you're trying to close this gap between your elbow and your knee. Okay, if you leave that open, it's going to allow me the opportunity to step through and try or go to arm bars, or go to all kinds of fancy things that you obviously don't want to have happen. So when we're here, the first part of learning to do this is just learning to control this distance just with the collar grip. So as I start moving around, she's just tracking me, staying in front, staying nice and low, keeping control of that distance the whole time as I move side to side. Okay, from there, the next situation is getting to the collar drag, and the movement's identical. She's going to step out to the side, she's going to base out, and she's going to drag me to where she was, coming up to the single leg. Alright? So, we're here, we're in this position, she's controlling the distance. She's sat on one hip, so she's not directly on both butt cheeks. This isn't going to allow you to move. On one hip, other hands out behind her for support so she can control the distance. And when she creates the space, she can drag me through, hook up the single leg, and then bail to come on top. So if we put those two drills together, we're going to be here, it'll look like this. So I'm trying to pass, then side to side, she creates the space, drags, and gets up on top. Okay? So our second way, we can use the collar drag to control the distance, also to score quick points. Okay, the next situation that we can use the collar drag is from close guard. This is super common. We see this all the time at the end of a fight. You see, maybe it's been a real close guard fight. You spent a lot of time kind of in like close guard, one person trying to pass, another person trying to attack. You've got 20, 30 seconds in the fight. You need to do something decisive. And the collar drag can be a great tactic for that. And you set it out virtually the same way. So if we're here, I'm trying to do, she's going to set up this cross collar grip. Then from here, she's going to start to create the distance. So the symbol is she starts to base up on her elbow, step on my hip, and then immediately she's got this distance control with the hip. From there, she can do blitz pass, and then again, come up and start attacking and get on top. Okay, you don't necessarily need to get to the backpack. That's not important. It's just about getting up on top. Remember, even if you're in this turtle position, controlling and stabilizing for 3 seconds, you're going to get the points for the sweep. Okay, so come to this side. We're here like such. Okay, we're in guard, I'm fighting, she's setting up this collar drag. She's going to step on the hip, face out, and immediately drag me to the side, coming up on top and stabilizing, or transitioning to the back from this. Okay, one more time. Alright, so please. speed. So we're here, we're down, fighting. She's facing out, she controls the distance, steps, drags, and comes up on top, getting the points, taking the back, whatever, and just stabilizing heavy as you can on top. Okay, another situation where this collar drag can become very useful is when you're standing. Again, this can be a point at the end of the fight, you fought hard, even on points, you need to get a couple of quick points. Collar drag is a perfect time to use that. And it works exactly the same regardless. So we're here, she's going to set up this cross collar grip. Now all she needs to do is move to the outside. She's going to drop to one hip, hook up the single leg, and then just bail forward using the head pressure to come to here. Okay? So on this side. We're here, working on our collar drag. Slow please. She's here, she collar grips. She's going to step to the outside. She's going to drop onto the near hip here. Okay, so she's pulling me towards where we were going. We're going to wrap up this leg. Head stays nice and tight. She's going to bury forwards, pulling down on the collar, and again, getting that drop from there. Okay, very, very simple takedown. Difficult to defend. Let's go this way. Same situation. So we've just stood up. We're here. We're moving. She's trying to block this grip. Comes around from here. Okay. You can still collar drag if your partner has this opposite grip here, but it's more difficult. Okay. She needs to get that away first, then she can drag through and start coming up from that point. Okay. So we can use that like same side grip that we used to pull De La Riva to go to the collar drag. Okay. So again, it's another really useful way to use the collar drag to score quick points and set up a takedown. Okay, another important technique, another nice way you can get quick points, I use this a lot, is with like an ankle kick. And you do this like kind of anytime someone's in combat base. So they've got one leg up, okay, here. Okay, it works really, really well. You can do it with the leg on the ground, but we'll show you this way first. All you're gonna do is be in this position. Again, I've got this cross collar grip. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna catch her ankle or tap her knee, and I drive her through that line. So I just pull her over onto the side and set up my knee slide position from here. It's a very simple movement. Come around this way. And it's all about using like this rocking movement to come up on top. So we're here, we're fighting. Maybe I'm playing collar and see. If I see that she's weak, set myself up and I just pick the ankle. And I'm always bringing her around to the side to bury her into the mat. One more time. Okay, we're here. I literally just collapse this ankle, push her down, come up, and I keep hold of this. Okay, this stops her coming up, makes her life much more difficult if she wants to defend. The nice thing about this ankle pick is it works really well with the collar drag. So when we're here, I can be like trying to collar drag and she'll sit her weight back, trying to prevent this position. The moment she sits her weight back, that's going to allow me to ankle pick. And the opposite is true as well. If I'm here and I'm trying to ankle pick, she'll be pulling her weight forwards, it's going to allow me to collar drag and come around from there. Okay? So again, nice, easy way to get that, fast points and start coming on top. Okay, now you can do the ankle pick with the person on both knees. And the movement's exactly the same, I just have to block her knee. So I can make normally I can make like a grip just by the knee joint, if they've got real size pants on, if they don't, it's hard. Or I can just cut here. Okay, so I could be playing my guard with this cross collar grip, and now all I do is I just tap and bring her over that leg. Okay, particularly anytime she's weak. So often I'll be like, I'll be pulling her forwards, stepping on her leg, and I'll go straight up on top. Okay, to get that ankle pick. Okay, real fast movement, again, works really, really well, particularly if the person doesn't expect it. Another situation where the ankle pick can become really useful is when you're playing De La Riva as well. Okay, so when we're here in De La Riva and we've got this position, you'll find that people get tired and they sit down. Okay, the problem with this is I'm in De La Riva, so my leg is stopping me coming straight forwards. Okay, the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to put my leg to the ground, I catch over the top. So if I've got the heel, I come over the top here. Okay, so I'm going from this position to this position. And then the ankle pick becomes the same. I'll stretch them out. Here I'll push, and I'll just drive up over the top, coming into the knee slide. Okay? So I can be playing my guard here. She sits down on one leg. I sit up and I stretch her away. Okay, I'm making her life difficult. This makes her want to pull back. Okay, she wants to try and maintain her posture. all I'm going to do is take this hand from the ankle to the leg, and I'm going to pull her down to the ground, putting her flat here. Okay, it works really, really well. It's a really nice, simple setup for the ankle pick. Now, you can use both these techniques no-gi as well. You just have to make slight adjustments to it. So first, for the collar drag, obviously you don't have a collar to drag no-gi, but you do have the arm drag. And the arm drag replicates exactly the same movement. So we can be here, I can be playing my guard, I want to get some quick points. All I do is I cut the wrist, and then I make exactly the same movement. I press her to the side, I pull her through, and I start to sit up, like hugging her leg and come to this position. It's going to work from the knees. It'll work exactly the same if we stood up. I can go here, collar drag in towards the single, and start coming up from there as well. Okay, so it's exactly the same technique. The only difference is we've adjusted from using this collar to using the arm. One important detail, when I arm drag, my goal is to come up high, like onto the deltoid. I'm not trying to grab at the elbow, because she has exactly the same grip, and she can do what's called a re-drag. It's easiest to show for standing up. So if I go here and I catch her arm, she can drag me instead and end up in the dominant position. If I go up to her shoulder, it becomes much more difficult for her to re-drag, and I can lock into position or go towards that position. So that's a really key important detail. For the ankle pick, the same situation applies. We can be here playing our guard, but as opposed to using the collar, I push on the shoulder. Okay? Or if you're a bit more violent, you can push in the throat as well. And it's the same situation, I can just push it and then come up from there. Okay? So it's exactly the same situation. Some people actually like to use the push or the punch on the shoulder in the gi as well, because it's a direct movement and you're connected to them. It can be very, very powerful. So the movements are pretty much identical whether you're doing the gi